So one thing I wanted to show you before we move any further, just because we're finally talking about this stuff, is the documentation. So I'm not going to go over it in detail, but I'm just going to show you that it exists, where it is, and kind of a couple examples. We'll kind of talk about them, especially because we've already done the authentication token example and the encrypted PIN example. So I'm going to add this URL as well as this URL to the notes under these videos, so you can navigate to this documentation and have a look yourself. But the one I kind of wanted to show you right now is, like, we just wrote the encrypted PIN code, right? And you can see here, before you withdraw or transfer in the Mixin network, you must have an encrypted PIN, right? As just like I said, we can't do anything with that new user we created until we register their encrypted PIN. These are all the things needed to generate an encrypted PIN. You can see it's all the stuff that we were using before: the private key, the PIN token that got sent back to us, our PIN code, the session ID, and those iterators that we were dealing with before. So in all the documentation, they have Golang examples. So as a JavaScript developer, if you're taking this course, you're looking at JavaScript code, you're going to have to figure out how to port this Golang code over to JavaScript. Another thing you could do, we've talked about this in the past, is like have a Golang server that handles all this stuff for you, and you just hit it with your JavaScript. That's one route to do it. There's many different ways to skin the cat, but I just showed you the JavaScript version of this code, essentially, so you can in effect reuse it. But again, this documentation is all over the place, and you can find out how to do all these things in the Golang code, right? So if you know how to read Go, you can click through all of these and figure out how they're doing it in the Go code, and simply recreate that in JavaScript. Especially given the fact that we have the encrypted PIN code, you should be able to look at that and say, oh, okay, to parse the private key, you do it this way in JavaScript, and you do it this way in Go, essentially. Okay, so that's one bit of the documentation. Here's another one. They both kind of deal with different things, but you can see that most of them are simple get and post requests. So up, where was it, the authentication token? Oh, create address, right? You can see it's simply a post to the addresses route, which is essentially what we're doing in these videos, right? Back in this code here, request, you're simply sending posts and gets to different routes. So this documentation essentially shows you all of the routes that you can do valid posts, and in this case, gets, right? You can get a user based on their ID by sending the same request using this endpoint. Okay, see you in the next video. Again, I just wanted to show you that documentation. I'll be adding it to the videos as well, and happy to answer any questions you might have. Okay, see you in the next video.